Hey guys, Andy Prepper here. Another knife review, blade review from my favorite Condor knife and tool line of blades. Fantastic blades for the money. This is a very interesting option, a little different than my standard Condor blade reviews. This is the Bush Cutlass, which is sort of a cutlass, sort of a sword, sort of a machete. It's a machete style cutlass that it's very interesting. Very, very interesting overall style blade. I've not seen too many reviews out there online, so I decided I'd do a review tonight. Excellent blade from Condor Tool and Knife. Overall, the blade length is 24 inches, so 2 feet there. With the handle and grip on this thing, it is about 29.5 inches overall. Very reasonably lightweight at 1.61 pounds. So very lightweight in the hand, very quick, very easy to use, very fast for chopping and slashing. Like the rest of the Condor tool and knife line, it's 1075 high carbon steel with, in this case, polypropylene grips on it. We'll start with the grips here and talk about the blade here in a second. But the grips on this thing, the handle, is based off of a old style cutlass, very ornate, with the styling of the polypropylene, probably the most ornate looking polypropylene grip I've ever seen. I'd have to say it's a little overdone, frankly, for a blade like this. You know, this is not an old world blade, okay? This is a beater style, woodscraft style item, but a little bit of overkill here on the handle. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but whatever you like. Let me show you what this thing looks like up close. Got a lion's head here on this end. Got your polypropylene guard here on the front side. Hopefully you can see that fairly well. Looks the same on the back side. A little different here. That's blank. That's got some cross swords there on it. So, not a bad thing. But a little ornate. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but, well, a little overly flashy. Starting at the grip end of this thing, I would say that the grip and handle on this is a little small for the average guy. I think it's a little thin, frankly. It is full tang, comes down all the way from what my magnet can tell me, and I've got average size hands, so this fits fine. There's nothing wrong with this. I think it would fit better if I had some gloves on, something like that in cold weather. If you had big bear paw hands, this may be a little small for you. For average size grip, I think it fills it up nicely, but the actual grip itself is fairly thin and small. If you want to beef that up a little bit, you know, you could wrap some paracord around it or tape or whatever you wanted to thicken it up to fit your hand fine. Nothing wrong with it. It's not going to slip out of your hand real easy because of obviously this nice guard here, which is something you don't see in most machetes out there. So I like that a lot, actually. I think this is going to hold up well to a lot of beating. The blade itself, like I said before, 24 inches, 2 feet. 1075 high carbon. It does have a very small fuller in it. Hopefully you can maybe see that right there. We go. Right there. Runs most of the way the blade, stops right here, just short of the tip. Don't know if that contributes a whole lot to weight, but strength, it's okay. But as a machete style blade should be, this thing can flex a fair amount. So you can see that right there. So that's not a tremendous amount of pressure on it, but it's got some decent flex to it, like a good machete style blade should do. Very sturdy overall. I have not used this a tremendous amount, primarily due to the length and size of this thing. Being 24-inch blade and basically 30 inches long, a little too long and a little too bulky for standard carry out and heavy bush and brush. You know, it's not going to serve you quite as easily as your standard machete, your shorter style machetes and all that are out there that you can have on your hip and carry through heavy brush. I would say this thing is perfect for around the house use. If you're at a homestead, out in the woods, something like that, where this thing's going to be quick and easy. Chopping off small branches, pruning trees, that type stuff. Pruning out basic brush and whatnot close to the house. This is something I keep close to the door that I use outside in my backyard and all that. I will use this a whole lot more once I move to my larger 20-acre property. I think I'm going to use this a whole lot because, well, as soon as you step out the door, you're just about in the woods. So, A little too big, I think, for standard carry, but it's very cool. Very high cool factor. You get to play the swashbuckler pirate with a cutlass out in the woods versus evil, nasty trees and whatnot. So nothing wrong with that. But like I said, I have not used this a whole lot yet, but it is performed tremendously so far. Very sharp overall compared to almost every other machete you're going to run into. I would not describe it as razor sharp, but I would describe it as superbly sharp for a machete. Can be easily sharpened up. I'll show you the blade up here up close. Got the black enamel finish on it there for corrosion resistance and protection. As you can see, looking at this, hopefully, no marring on the finish at all. Now, I've not taken this against any larger targets of decent sized trees and all that, but there's an online video of some folks, I believe they're German or something like that, out hacking at bottles and whatnot. And the guy actually takes a bad swing and hits the table and cuts about 2 inches into the hardwood table. Looks to be oak or something like that. Very easily, not a lot of effort, and just chops, slices right into it. No damage to the blade whatsoever. So check that one out if you want to look at it. So there's your blade overall. You can thrust with this if you need to. Cutlasses are not designed primarily for thrusting. They're a slashing weapon. But you can. Again, check the other videos out there of people stabbing through bottles and such with them. Not its primary purpose, but you could use this as a very decent defensive blade if you had to. If there was something nasty coming at me like a coyote or wild dog or two-legged varmint, this would be great. You pull this out, nobody's going to be expecting you to pull out a cutlass. This will kick some serious butt. Very quick, very light due to its lightweight blade and lightweight construction with polypropylene and all that. So you can swing and slash and cut as quick as you want to with this thing. So no major problems there. The blade thickness is 3/32, if I didn't mention that before. MSRP on this is frankly $60 to $70. I think that's excessive. You can find it for sale on a lot of your knife and tool websites for somewhere in the mid-50s. You know, around $50, maybe mid-40s, 45, something like that. I think I paid $47, $48 for this, something like that. I just don't remember right now. Can't remember where I got it. I think it was from Smoky Mountain Knife Works or somewhere like that. Do not regret the purchase at all, but it's not my standard day-to-day carry by any means. But interesting and fun. Just something different to add to your collection. Now, like the rest of the Condor line, it has an excellent leather sheath right here. Full length here, nice belt loop on it. If you can see that right there, that swivels, so it's going to swing around very nicely. Well constructed with a nice rivet there. Very similar loop to your Rodans, some of your other blades. So slips in right here, 2 rivets up top. Nice heavy stitching. Condor emblem right there, if you can see that. And the rest of it, you got a rivet down here at the bottom. Very long, very thick leather, very durable. This thing is not going anywhere anytime soon. So, zombie apocalypse blade or just general field use, this is not bad. Not bad at all. The only problem with it, which is also an asset, like I said, is its length. It's just a little too long and a little too bulky for standard hiking uses, in my opinion. And you might get some weird looks carrying around something this long on your hip. Not that it's illegal around here, but still. Probably not the first thing for a day hike or anything like that. Like I said before, I would prefer this for around the house / homestead use in the outdoors, backyard, that sort of thing. Slashing limbs and stuff like that. Taking down small trees and whatnot. It's not as thick, obviously, as your standard machete, but for a more fun option, I think this is excellent. Again, a little ornate here on the grips for something that just made out of standard polypropylene, but hey, whatever does it for you. Nice blade overall, excellent sheath from Condor, as always. I like it. Fun blade for $45, $50. Maybe not the first item I'd want to buy in the $50 range for survival, bushcraft, camping, woods lore, all that type of stuff. But interesting if you want something new and unique. I would not take this over a decent sized camp knife or anything like that, but for machete style options, this is fun. Very, very fun blade. Alright guys, MD Prepper, out.